Hello, today I want to be reading the story of Repunsel as I have translated to Kinruu, which is my conlang. The primary purpose of this reading is to give a grammar lesson, so all the way through I will be focusing on the grammar and not so much the vocab, though you should be able to glean most of the vocab through the way it's done. Repunsel. De koi geschwiebisch die hinge. One koi, married couple die, exist get. Once there was a married couple. Okay, to start, I need to teach a few grammar terms. One is koi, which means when or at the time of. Ge always marks verbs, and di always marks the subject. Role markers such as these provide two important functions. One is to tell you what the role in the sentence is, and the other is to separate the nouns from the verbs. For example, the word honmoi means meal or cook. Honmoidi is a meal, whereas honmoige is to cook. Once there was a married couple. One koi, married couple di, exist get. De koi, geschwiebisch di hinge. De hoshkoi goshpidi di fishfutto dashke virishta jinsoge. One day, koi, husband di, re-garden do, goge, vi vegetable ta, steelge. That is, one day the husband went to another garden and stole some vegetables. A few more grammar terms to cover. The word re means another. It can mean another time or another place, but it means another, and it comes at the beginning of a word. Do means to, as in to a place. It's a role marker, so it comes at the end of a word. Vi means plural. It's a modifier, so it comes at the beginning of a word. And ta is the direct object of a sentence, so the one who is being acted upon. One day koi, husband di, re-garden do, go ge, vi vegetable ta, steelge. De hoshkoi gosh bidi, ri fishfuth do dashke, virishta jinsoge. Dai tulmo, rishfuthko vu kondi, honsimo, ruge, hontanide. Dai fortunate mo, garden ko vu ondi, which mo sige, angry ide. Unfortunately, the garden's owner, who was a witch, saw. She was angry. Okay, now if you want to turn something into not, we use die, which is, it basically negates anything. And that is a modifier. It comes at the beginning of a word. Mo is used to isolate for extra information. Ko is the possessive, so the garden's owner would be the garden co-owner, actually. Vu is a person who does something, so it takes a verb and turns it into a human doer of that thing. A football player would be a vu football play. So a chef, for example, would be a vu cook. E is an adjective marker. Finally, we have de, which is. Unfortunately, the garden's owner, who was a witch, saw. She was angry. Dai fortunate mo, garden ko vu ondi, which mo sige, angry ide. Dai tulmo, rishfuthko vu kondi honsinmo ruge, hontanide. Bendi ringen duge, meta bido ruge. I, di, rin revenge ge, meta, him do telge. I will revenge, she told him. Rin means will or intent. It's talking about the future. It's what I intend to do in the future, and it modifies at the beginning of verbs. Me is like a spoken quote mark. When it's followed by a role marker, it wraps everything before it into the quote, and the role marker gives it its role in the sentence. Meta would make that quote the direct object of the sentence. So I said blah 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 ta. I will revenge, she told him. I di rin revenge ge meta himdo telge. Bendi ringen duge meta bido ruge. Me fekko de ta tintarinjenge feri hampege ma mege. Me yuko wonsa childta id rin take get ud understand get ma mege. So me opens a quote. Your first child I will take rin take get. Do you understand? She said meta. Now, if we have me without a role marker, that can begin a quote. And this allows us to wrap multiple sentences in a single quote. Ta is a position marker, and for numbers that's roughly equivalent to the th ending of a number fourth, for example, fourth position. Ma is a spoken question mark. So it comes at the end of a sentence and turns it into a question. And finally, we're going to have mege, which is a closed quote. Instead of being the direct object, now it is the verb. So this whole quote is the verb. So basically it means they said, right? So, I will take your first child. Do you understand? She said. Me yuko wonsa child ta id rin take ge ud understand ge mamege. Me feko de ta tinta rinzenge feri hampege ma mege. Biri donjandegi reshtinge tairo tsui dashge. Hidi terrified degi agreed ge homdo sad e goge. Because he was terrified, he agreed. He went home sad. The next one we're going to learn is gi, which means because. Because he was terrified, he agreed. He went home sad. There's a kind of implied and in there, because if you have two get verbs in a sentence, the link is just assumed to be an and. Hidi terrified degi agreed ge homdo sad e goge. Biri donjandegi reshtinge tairo tsui dashge. Viku se goshme di raitani mebuta buge. Time say wife di beauty girl baby ta birth get. Much time later, the wife gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. Say is another verb marker, and it means after this verb is completed. It's a time marker. So you can also use it or just applying it directly to a time, such as one day later, one day say. Much time later, the wife gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. Times say wife di beauty girl baby ta birth get. Vi kuse goshme di raitani mebu ta buge. Sahoshkoi honsindi se dashke buta jinge. That day koi which di come get baby ta take get. That day the witch came and took the baby. That day koi which di come get baby ta take get. Sahoshkoi honsindi se dashke buta jinge. Bethi jathunbuthog jinge uta Repunsel ta so chinge. Tall e tower do take ge. Name ta Repunsel ta give ge. She took to a tall tower, and in place of a name or as a name, Repunsel she gave. is a marker that comes at the beginning of a word to say I'm giving a name. So Rapunzel is Rapunzel. It also means name when used as an item by itself. Toli tawado take get, name ta Rapunzel ta give get. Bethi jathunbuth dojinge, uta Rapunzel ta so chinge. Satsa buri soige, rairashi go bethi royi pugoran metanta hige. Thatsa, baby di groge, beautifully go longi flowingi hair go ran lady ta become get. There the baby grew. A beautiful lady with long flowing hair she became. The next roll marker is called ran, and that means with or having, and it's used as an adjective. Go acts as a disambiguator to help separate inner clauses. It's never completely necessary, but it makes a sentence less ambiguous if you use it. There the baby grew. A beautiful lady with long flowing hair she became. That ta baby di groge, beautifully go longi flowingi hair go ran lady ta become gay. Sata budi soige, radashi go bethi royi pugoran me tanta hige. Honsindi tsego jathunbuta mashchoja tashkekoi me Rapunzel feko piuta reshilba meta rubuske. Which di enigo tower ta enter ja want gokoi me Rapunzel yuko hair ta let down ba meta kulge. So anytime the witch wanted to enter the tower, O Rapunzel, your hair let down ba meta kulge. That ba is an imperative on the verb. It's a soft imperative, not a command so much as a polite request. Tse means any. So if we have tsego, something in the middle, go koi, that means any, whenever this thing happens or whatever, time at. Ja is in order to. So it's a verb ending and means in order to. So which di enigo tawata enter ja want ge koi me Rapunzel yuko hair ta let down ba meta kulge. Honsindi tego jathunbuta mashchoja tashke koi me Rapunzel feko piuta reshilba meta rubethge. Sase honsinde buthke Rapunzel di medo homuige. That say which di climb ge Rapunzel di her dough cook get. Remember that dough is of course not cooked her but cooked to her. So after that the witch would climb and Rapunzel would cook for her. That say which di climb get Rapunzel di her dough cook get. Remember that dough is of course not cooked her but cooked to her. So Sase honsinde buthke Rapunzel di medo homuige. De hoshkoi tsoshta dashgoshke de bihoshke sindi raige pege Rapunzel ko rairoshti raipethge. One day koi close ta travel ge one prince di sige hige. Rapunzel ko beauty di amaze ge. So one day, close by, a traveling prince saw and heard Rapunzel's beauty amazed. So now we have gay, which is basically a contraction of gay, the verb, as an adjective. So we say gay, and that is the verb as an adjective. Basically equivalent to ing in English. Him is kind of implied. You can leave a lot implied in Kinruu. One day koi close to travel gay, one prince di sige, hierge, u Rapunzel ko beauty di amaze ge. De hoshkoi toshta dashgoshke de bihoshke sindi, raige pege uru punsel ko rairoshti raipethge. That's the end of part 1. I hope to have part 2, which is the end of this story, up in about 3 weeks. I want to carry on working on some more Roo Shell stuff first. As for the original Pimpster lessons, I'm afraid they're going to have to take a hold. Basically, all of those recordings I made too many mistakes in to actually make them usable. And the language has changed a bit since then. I think it's relatively stable now, at least at the base. So these lessons should be good for a while. That's all for now. Ta-ra! Sase honsinde buthke u Rapunzel di medo homuige. That say which di climb ge, Rapunzel di her dough cook ge. Remember that dough is of course not cooked her, but cooked to her. So, after that, the witch would climb, and Rapunzel would cook for her. So I'm going to so now we have gay, which is basically a contraction of gay. So gay would mean the verb as an adjective. So we say gay, and that is the verb as an adjective. So basically equivalent to ing in English. De hoshkoi toshta dashkoi. De hoshkoi toshta de hoshkoi toshta dashgoshke. De hoshkoi toshta dashgoshke de bishoshketsindi. Bihoshketsindi. Oh, dashgoshke de bihoshketsindi raige Raige pege u Rapunzel ko rairoshti raipethge. One day koi close ta travel ge one prince di sige herge. Sige hierge. Sige hierge. Sige hierge. U Rapunzel ko beauty di amazege. So one day, close by, a traveling prince saw and heard Rapunzel's beauty amazed. Him is kind of implied. You can leave a lot implied in Kinruu. So, one day koi close to travel gay, one prince di sige hierge, u Rapunzel ko beauty di amazege. De hoshkoi toshta dashgoshke de bihoshke sindi raige pege u Rapunzel ko rairoshti Repunsel ko rairoshti raipethge. Honsindi this. I think I'm going to stop actually. How much is left? So much still to do.